Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirits, my intuition, and the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, most amazing, beautiful viewers. I hope you guys are all doing very well. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I sure hope this message resonates for you today. If you are returning, I am so blessed, so grateful to have you here today, and I'm super excited to do today's message, because Spirit was relentless with this messaging for today. And we're looking at, what do you need to be reminded of? So what does Spirit want to remind you of? Maybe something you've forgotten, maybe something you're really needing to hear, but it's something you're needing to be reminded of. So we have 3 options to choose from. Those came out fairly easy. Energy is quite charged here. I will be pulling a charm for each of these cards. So if at any point you're pulled to one of these cards, the timestamp will take you to your pick. Option 1, option 2, and option 3. We'll reveal these cards shortly, and like I said, we will pick a charm. Use your intuition, what you will see, feel, or hear, to determine which pile is yours and whether the messaging is something that is resonating for you. Only you can do that. Do not use my intuition over yours. Always lean into your own intuition. Okay, so option 1, we have the goat will help you to get a good reputation. Option number 2, we have the bear will tie you to your origin. And number 3, we have the spider will reveal your fate to you. Wow, 3 very different energies coming through. Now let me pull a charm for option 1. Let's get this book out of there. Option 1, you have this, it looks like a pendant with, I don't know, looks like a pendant with bells, or I'm not quite sure what this is. We'll pick up energy as we get into your reading. Could certainly be kind of a fish. All right, interesting. Option number 2, we have this snowflake. Your dog barking, that's just my dog. And option number 3, we have this beautiful key. All right, I'll move this box so you guys can see. So we have option 1, option 2, and option 3. I'll leave the video running for a bit, and once you're ready, you can select your pile. You could be drawn to more than one pile. That's absolutely fine. Just means Spirit might have multiple messages in regards to what you're needing to hear. All right, so I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, my beautiful pile 1. I'm so glad that you guys are here today, and I cannot wait to get into your reading. Before we tap into this energy check to see if you're resonating with this pile, let's just talk about what this is. So Spirit is really wanting to deliver a message here in regards to something you need to be reminded of. I don't know if it's something you have forgotten, or just something that needs to be reinforced, or just the message you're really needing to hear today. So I have not looked at these oracle cards. They're pre-shuffled. Whatever kind of came out, came out. We're going to take a look at these, and in order for you to tell whether this is your messaging or not, I do ask you use your intuition, what you will see, feel, or hear throughout this reading, to determine whether it is something that resonates. All right, so before we do the intuition tune-in, let's tap into this energy, and if it resonates, then we can certainly get into your reading, and I will put the timestamp below so that you can go directly to your main reading. You guys picked the goat, and it says the goat will help you to get a good reputation, and this little charm here that had me a little bit confused. So let's start with the card. The book itself actually has a different line, which is interesting, because sometimes these cards, these decks, as they get edited, there's certain edits that go through the book but not through the card, and it talks more about being shown how to keep and maintain your good reputation. And this one says how to help you to get a good reputation. So I don't know if there's a major difference about it so much, but the theme of this card is maybe where we're acting in a certain way that might be not getting along with other people because we are set in our way. All right, so we might have a way about us that is very fixed, is kind of stubborn, and it becomes difficult to work with because we might not be seeing the compromise in a situation. We might not be wanting to change in a little way that might help things run a lot smoother here. So it might be very fixed. And we could certainly be pretending to be something maybe that we're not necessarily, in order to try to fit and get along. I don't know which it is. I have a feeling it might be the latter. We really want to fit in. We really want to get along. I think there's something here that you're really trying. Maybe you've been at it for some time to try to flow. Maybe you really want to be accepted or recognized. This could involve groups of people, a community, a certain relationship, a job, how you're perceived, how you're welcomed. And it could certainly be that we could be compromising big parts of ourself, and maybe it started off as, just certain things, but when we get to a point where we start to compromise or change big parts about ourselves, then we're kind of hiding a truth or an authentic part of ourselves that needs to be expressed so that we can be accepted for who we are. The goat is something stubborn. It's certainly something that is pretty determined, resilient. The goat needs acceptance. Goat could be Capricorn energy. A goat here could certainly also be Aries. Now this to me was giving me bells, like when we wear like a pendant with bells so that people know we're coming. Well, I don't know if people wear bells, but animals, or we put bells on something so it gets recognition. And so we might be doing something that's going out of our way to get recognized. That's not really naturally us. We might be, I don't know, like putting ourselves in a position where we want to be seen or we want to be acknowledged. So we start to show up in some way or show out in some way or get loud, or I don't know, like it could certainly be disruptive and cause more disruptive than cohesion in the situation here. Because if you leave a goat alone in the room, it will turn everything sort of upside down. And the bells here could certainly be a distraction. Like we see the goat coming, it doesn't need a bunch of bells to hear it coming. So we might be acting, which is the bells, in a certain way to get certain approval or acceptance, because we really want to get along, or we really need to achieve something, or we're really, like trying to get recognition or noticed or work on something here. I do also get fish from this because it kind of looks like a cartoon fish for me. And the fish, they swim in a school of fish, which is also about groups of people, and they kind of do what the other fish do, and they kind of swim in unison. The goat is independent and does its own sort of thing. It doesn't necessarily do what everyone else is doing. So another message coming through here, it might be that you're being asked to be like everyone else and you're independent and unique and you want to remain, although you also want to get something accomplished, or maybe you're not quite sure how to fit in order to achieve something. because maybe it's not in your nature to just do what everyone else does here for the sake of fitting in or getting along. Yeah, so any one of these could be your situation here. I'm not quite sure, but we do have oracle cards which will provide some more insight if any of that sort of resonates, if you're working with groups of people or in a situation here where your reputation, your image, or the way you're being perceived or accepted or acknowledged or understood is something that is resonating for you, then let's get into the card layout. Now you could skip ahead to your main reading, but let us tune into the intuition and see what we see. So we have the grouse. Express yourself through rhythm and movement by drumming and dancing. Interesting. Expressing self. That was the bells I was getting. Drumming and dancing. Okay. We have the eagle. The eagle's air energy, and the eagle is gaining a higher perspective and sometimes is being very direct when we're ready to act. It has very good precision. Okay, we have sovereignty. This is like our individuality, not being a part of the group thing, collective movement. Sovereignty is our own sort of independent freedom. And we have 38, the treasure of the soul, or the number 11. And 11's an ascended master's number, divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going, kind of like the goat, very determined. We have a heart here, beautiful energy, a treasure of the soul. Okay, and then we have healer with number 20, or the number 2. 2 is all about balance, duality, and choices. We have the voice that tells you that you aren't good enough, apparently doesn't know you at all. You're amazing. Coming back to this energy here, being accepted, and it could certainly be being accepted by yourself, or maybe how to be around other people so that you are embraced for who you are, your individual self. Maybe we're afraid to let our soul shine, our talents shine. We have spotted handfish. Interesting, this card came out the other day. Found exclusively in Tasmania and Australia, this strange sea fish prefers to walk on 2 legs on the seafloor rather than swim on the sandy bottoms. It feeds on shrimps, worms, and small crustaceans that it attracts with a little lure found above its mouth. The spots that decorate its body are unique to each individual. Well, we have sovereignty, we have unique spots. This fish walks, most fish swim. It's doing its own thing because of what it prefers to do. I feel like you have a way that you want to be and something you want to do that's very independent to self, and you might feel very limited, restricted, or like you wouldn't be accepted in some way. Or maybe it's causing all sorts of grief in some way here with others to live your best, truest life. We have earth connection. Look at that. Beautiful heart energy coming through, and the tree energy, all about stability and family and growth and security. Earth connection, roots. All right, we have denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with insight of awareness. And we have the mouse spirit. Tend to the small things with the number 40. Number 4 coming out, which is that structure, foundation, stability. I was getting with the tree. Okay, mouse tends to the small things. Could be making ourselves little here with the mouse spirit. And we have Isis, which magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. All right. And we have change maker makes waves. Look at that. 45 could be significant. Number 9, excuse me. Change maker. Yeah, you're definitely unique. Surrender to joy. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both of the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. Look how joyful she is. Groups of birds here. I'm getting, again, community of people. I'm getting groups of people, friends, family, how we're perceived by others. Surrender to denial. So we got denial twice here. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. I have a feeling we're denying something about self for the betterment of others, or we think it's better for others. If we suppress, hide, or deny a certain part of self, and we have wisdom. I'm getting Queen of Swords energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy coming through. Getting a little bit of water as well. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Yeah, and Earth as well, which we talked about here. Capricorn, and then the Aries with the goat. Okie dokie. Yeah, and it's a bit of Earth. So we have a little bit of everything here. Okay, let me tap into this, and then if we need to pull some tarot, we will. But the messaging is fairly clear here, but I will just tap into this, and then you can go click on the timestamp. It'll take you to the reading, and let's get into this. Okay. Pile one. It's funny, my throat chakra is getting very tight. I feel like there is an expression here of self that's very unique, beautiful, and I feel like either your environment, your surroundings, your current relationship, it could be just how we engage with others, either through work, through our family, or just through our individual, intimate, one-on-one relationships. There's something about it that is stifling your ability to feel comfortable to express self. And so what's showing here is that I don't know how long we've been in this sort of energy. So we could certainly just be around groups of people that might not be making us feel like they're our soul tribe or soul family, because if we feel like we cannot express or be self, then it might not feel like a comfortable place to do this. Although what Spirit is showing here is it might be that we're just not seeing something from a different perspective, which is we would be accepted and embraced in that community, but something within us might not believe it to be true. And so therefore we tell ourselves that there's certain parts of us that if we were to show, or if we were to express, or if we were to live out or play out, then we'd be judged, or we wouldn't be accepted, or we would cause conflict, or just it wouldn't create for there to be acceptance in your world in some way. So I think there's a certain part of yourself that we're suppressing here with surrender denial, okay? And I think it's you maybe being this way, or have been this way, or still continuously being this way for some time, that maybe we don't even recognize or realize now that there's a part of us that we don't embrace or express. And so the way to find out would be think about the main groups of people that you spend most of your time with, and compare and contrast that to another relationship in your life or other situations. So let's say your work life and your home life, or your intimate partnership and then your friends and relationships. What are the differences? Do they feel as though one relationship And when I say relationship, I mean how we engage with another thing, another entity, another person, other people. Does it make us feel smaller, contract? Does it make us feel timid, smaller, restricted? Does it make us feel at the mercy of those people, that energy that we're surrounding ourselves with? Or does it make us feel uplifted? Does it make us feel powerful? Does it make us feel confident in our decisions and does it make us feel happy and fulfilled, open? Or does it make us close, contract, second guess, keep to ourselves, keep the peace, follow along, not want to contribute or contribute less? So what you need to be reminded here of is that there is a part of you that is absolutely beautiful within you that could come out if given the right people, situation, circumstance, and that potentially we might be under an understanding that we cannot fulfill that sort of an energy in that other group or in that relationship or in that whatever. And so Spirit is saying, be your full self. Allow yourself to express and see what happens in that. Because if it does cause conflict, then it's a natural thing in which we start to deviate from those relationships and those people to find the next sort of groupings of people or soul tribe, which I don't think I see that here. What I see happening here is this changing for the better, that relationship or the way you engage here with whatever group or whatever person or whatever situation. And what it's going to do, it's going to add another layer or another sort of new energy into this relationship or into this dynamic that's going to create the change. And you're going to be able to provide something to this connection that is very unique and irreplaceable because it is a part of who you are and what you're able to bring. And so by doing this daily, being aware of this, what it is that you can do, not being held back or not second guessing or allowing yourself to shine throughout this connection or these relationships, will slowly build up over time to strengthen those connections and those relationships, and also to strengthen your confidence, belief in self, and your light. And so if you're struggling with relationship, or it's okay, this will strengthen that relationship to something that is more sturdy, that is more long lasting, that provides more benefit to you and to the service that you're giving to your friendship or your relationship or to your groups of people, your family and friends. And it will be more joyous, it will be more fun, it will be celebrated. And I think you provide a unique insight that will allow others to also be themselves. And so I think the relationship strengthens even more. But I think there might be certain silent parts of you that might be lost here, okay? And I mean, it's very natural for us to be a certain way with certain people and completely different with other people. And it doesn't mean that we're, it's my dog, doesn't mean that we are I don't know, like doing anything bad so much as some people bring out certain parts of us. But I feel like this is more than just certain parts only coming out. I feel like there's certain parts of you that are suppressed because we don't want to be judged, or certain parts of us that we don't let loose, because we might be trying to, again, either play small with this group of people or try to play a role that we think we're supposed to play with that sort of dynamic, and we believe it, but it's something we're carrying just because we've been carrying it. There is no rule here that's stated as such, and so then this part of ourself gets lost or not experienced or felt by the other side, which is a blessing here. Okay, your true self is a blessing here. The love here, okay, so this has to be from a place of love, because if it's authentic, it's coming from our heart space. And so this does provide a lot of healing to you, and it's also very healing to other people to be around people who are very authentic and very much themselves without question. And so I feel like this definitely allows you to engage in these relationships a lot more easily and create a lot more easily within these dynamics. Change maker makes waves. So even if we feel like it might cause things to change in a way here, it's all for the better because it adds life. Okay, so if we have to create waves, it adds life, because the ocean's still the ocean with the waves, or whether it's calm. So I do feel like you don't want to just go with the flow. I feel like you don't want to just be forced to do what everyone else is doing. I feel like there's something very unique and special about the way you do things here that has to shine. Okay, that has to shine, and I don't feel it's silly at all. I feel like it's an experienced part of you, and I don't know if there's shame, or maybe we're too modest to let our wisdom show, or we don't want to appear as though we're too intelligent or whatever. We're too concerned. Okay, we're too concerned with what others might think or feel at the expense of our own light shining here. Okay, but we can create a better dynamic, so it's for the benefit of both sides that we are completely authentic. Okay, so we're going to pull some tarot to see insight Spirit wants to give regarding what you need to be reminded of. Spirit, what does pile 1 need to be reminded of right here, right now, for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile 1? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I am truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. All right, 7 of Cups. And under that, we have 5 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so let's flip them all before we get into the energy. We have the King of Cups. Look at all these cups, guys. Heart space. King of Cups. We have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have the Hermit, Virgo energy. Lots of beautiful flowers. We have the 3 of Wands. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. And we have the Emperor in reverse. Aries energy, which I was getting from this here. Okay. So, 7 of Cups. This is like a dreamer energy. Maybe someone who's, you know, kind of has a fantasy kind of up in their head. Lots of possibilities here, but it could cause a lot of confusion when we remain in our mind. You know, we remain in our mind. We have lots of thoughts coming through our mind, lots of ways that we can go or do or be. But I do feel as though there's an energy I'm feeling here of allowing our mind to come up with a thought of something we might have experienced in the past, creep in and impact how we are acting in the present. For example, a part of ourself that was authentic and true in another experience in the past led to sadness, led to maybe a parting, a breakup, things not working out. And so we experience that by being ourselves. And so now when we are in a situation in which it asks for us to be self, we're now hesitant because in the past it led to sadness. It led to not being accepted. It led to me feeling left out. It led to me feeling like I wasn't accepted for who I was. So now I'm cautious, and now I'm in my mind, and now I'm more in my mind rather than allowing myself to express. So it causes a little bit of a confusion here. And I think the confusion is for the ones around you thinking, hey, is pile one not invested? Is pile one not sharing their thoughts? Is pile one holding out on this connection? Is pile one not trust me enough to share what they're thinking and their ideas? Is pile one removed from allowing themselves to open up and energetically engage in this dynamic or this connection? So if they are, then I might as well be cautious. I might as well maybe not share. I might as well maybe not completely be self. And so if pile one recognizes, oh, I'm in my mind, and there's a certain way that I would normally react from my natural self that's now been suppressed, and that's now maybe defaulted to thinking about how to act before I act every single time. I can't be my genuine, responsive self. So now I hesitate, and that could be taken as a sign of mistrust or as a sign of closed offness. Okay, so I'm just telling you what the energy is like here. And I'm not saying that everyone thinks you're closed off. I could be tapping into one specific relationship here, or one specific way that you are with a group of people. I don't know which it is. Only you'll know, but I feel like it's the one that makes you feel like you want to express and engage, but are hesitant for whatever reason. You're hesitant here, okay? Because I feel like you want to engage, open up, be loved, and contribute. But I feel like whatever you've experienced in the past now has you more thinking about your response, how you need to be, and what it is that you're supposed to, quote unquote, be doing rather than just being. So, King of Cups, the most love I could pull from the tarot. Okay, this is deep, deep love here. And so we're seeing all the heart space energy. I feel like there is a lot of love in your heart. Hermit is all about the self, okay, like understanding self from a very deep level here, doing the inner work, understanding our shadow self, understanding how the past might impact our present, because we're very in tune with ourselves, okay, in tune with our heart space, know our emotions. The King of Cups is very emotionally mature. And Spirit is reminding us that in order to have relationships expand, grow, and have movement and growth in our life with the Three of Wands, we have to allow things to flow. We have to allow things to be true. We have to allow things to organically just exist as they are without hesitation, restrictions, and there could be a lot of expansion here in relationships, I feel, okay, in our life, like not just, you know, like your private intimate relationships, but as a whole here, I feel it would benefit your relationships. And so I feel like with the tree here talking about stability, here we have a 10 of Pentacles. This is your legacy. This is your stability. This is what you can build here. Okay, so I feel like there is something more that could be created and built that is more solid and stable and long-term. So maybe we've been from job to job to job, not sure why, you know, and we don't quite can connect or feel like that we're welcomed. And so we might be externally seeking the place in which we can say, okay, this is my long-term career, right? Or the long-term relationship. We might go going from relationship to relationship, but thinking that we are being self, and eventually that we'd find someone that's accepting of whatever energy we're in, but we're in this energy, so we're not even fully coming from the heart space. So Spirit is saying, if we are unapologetically ourselves, not making ourselves small, understanding with the Hermit here, where we're letting the past maybe fear us or creep in there with thoughts of pain that we've experienced, and just being authentically us, even if it causes waves, and even if it seems a little odd, and even if it seems against the grain. Okay, as long as it's coming from a heart place, joyous place, this is what's going to allow these relationships to grow and move forward and be secure and solid. Now we can have more longevity at the workplace. Now we can have longer lasting relationships. Now we can have stability where maybe there wasn't stability. So I feel like there's a lack of inauthenticity here with this Ace of Swords in the reverse. And I'm seeing poppies, and poppies to me is all about the past, the memories, okay? Which is interesting. We're doing a reading about what you need to be reminded of. So I feel like you've experienced something in the past that seemed very real, experienced something that it could have been quite hurtful, and all of these experiences have led to a certain way of being right now that I feel isn't completely the truth of who you are. It's a sheltered energy that's coming out to protect, but it also hides an authentic piece of yourself. So with this denial, we might not even recognize. So you might even, if you're listening to this, then obviously something's resonating here, but you might not even recognize that you're doing this. Okay, this is what you need to be reminded of, and really look at your actions, your words, and how you respond, engage, and your thoughts, and say, are my thoughts and my emotions and my trueness, is it being expressed and shown here in this relationship, in this dynamic? Or am I in my head? Or am I thrown back to memories of the past? Or am I comparing it to something I've experienced, and therefore I freeze? Therefore I say something I don't necessarily mean. Therefore I don't say anything at all. Therefore I don't act. Therefore I freeze and I feel held back. I feel kind of not sure. I'm questioning, and I kind of just don't allow myself to just say what I want to say, feel what I want to feel. You know, I mean, we obviously have to be aware of other people's feelings and respect other people, but at the same time, not to the expense of suppressing a truth from within us or playing small. And I feel like it's a play small energy, because we might not want to be judged for the thoughts we have or the action we take. And in the past, someone might have not have accepted us, you know, or it might have led, like I said, to losing her job or losing the relationship and being surprised, or just like something unexpected here. And now it's like, I don't want to experience that same thing. So I'm kind of more cautious what I'm saying and doing. But Spirit's saying the opposite is actually true here. That a secluded incident that has happened here in the past cannot hold you hostage. That the trueness of who you are needs to come out, needs to be expressed, needs to walk and talk in the truth of who you are, not suppressed and denied. Okay, and so I feel like this Emperor is all about the confidence, taking action, not playing small. You know, somebody who steps in the leadership role, somebody who is capable of making things happen here and doesn't shy away. So I don't know, like this could be, you could be, you know, a boss here, but you might be playing small, so other people feel like, I don't know, like they could take that role, you know, like I don't know, like maybe you're saying, I don't want to apply for this leadership role here because I don't want to make people upset, or I tell yourself whatever stories from the past. Meanwhile, the cards are showing you are boss material. You are this beautiful, confident light, okay? And if it causes waves, it's okay. Sometimes our confidence and our uniqueness will cause waves in the ocean. But this is how you get to expand, and this is how you get to build on something more secure for yourself, because it's uniquely you. It's not a watered down version of you. It's not a restricted or refrained version of you. It's not a version of you that's too tied up and tangled in the past that doesn't allow for you to progress and grow in a way here that connects back to your authentic self and really gives you that joy. Because nothing more joyous than being our complete self, like 100%, and then being accepted. But if we're kind of ourselves and we're accepted, it still doesn't fulfill us. So we want to feel like this around the presence of other people. Completely ourselves and completely loved and accepted and adored. Okay, and I think you're going to be completely loved and adored here in whatever situation, work, relationship. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot of you guys, this is work. Okay, and it could really be, I don't know, like there's maybe a role you keep passing up on because it would require you to like show your leadership skills. So you shy from it, you don't apply for it, you let others take it. You kind of tell yourself that last time you're in a leadership role, you thought, I don't know, like others judged you or it didn't work for whatever reason here. And so I feel like you're now shying from it, but Spirit's showing you're capable. You have the skill, the talent, you have the ability to make this happen here and the leadership here to make it happen, because this will build to the 10 of Pentacles. This will be the workplace in which you can hang your hat and be very successful here. You don't have to settle. You don't have to play small. You don't have to, you know, be where you're at. You can have expansion here in this situation, this workplace, this relationship, okay? So take this however it resonates for your situation. I do feel for a majority of you guys, it could be a workplace here, okay? You guys are capable of a lot. Do not play small and do not do things just to be accepted or liked here, when sometimes we can cause a wave in one person's world, but make a huge difference in everyone else's world, right? So, you know, do we want to cater to the 1% here? Or do we just want to be true for ourselves and live in that truth? And then our soul family will align to that. So then we can experience full joy. You know, full joy, because we're accepted for who we are, regardless of who around us in this moment is pleased or not, because the people who are supposed to be pulled to us will be pulled to us. Our soul family will come to us. The job will come to us if we're truly ourselves. But if we're in this sort of untruth, this is the denial card, and then we just surround ourselves with more people that energy pulls in. And so we perpetuate that sameness, right? But if we're true and honest and authentically us, people will weed out, but eventually we surround ourselves by other people who are authentic and true and totally embrace and accept us for who we are. So don't let the past experiences get in your way or make you feel like you're less than who you truly are, or need to be less than who you truly are, okay? Pile 1, I hope this resonated for you. This message was fairly clear. I realize it's not for everyone, but it was for someone, and I love you so much. I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 2. If you guys hear noises in the background, the window is open because it was getting extremely hot in here. So before I tap into this energy, as the energy check to see if this is resonating for you, what are we looking at? We're looking at, what do you need to be reminded of? Spirit was insisting on this reading today, and it's something that you're needing to be reminded of. I don't know if it's something you've forgotten along the way, or needing to hear immediately right now that's going to help you in any sort of way, but it's what Spirit thinks you need to be reminded of. So I have pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at them. What you will see, feel, or hear throughout this reading will determine whether this is your messaging. Only you can do that with your intuition. So feel free to sit with me throughout the layout to tap into your intuition, or you can go ahead and click straight away to the main reading. Now, how can you tell if this is your pile? Well, let's tap into this energy and see what we get. So it says the bear will tie you to your origin. We see the mama bear and the baby bear. And so this is all about remembering our roots, our ancestors, where we've come from, the strength and the protection, and not forgetting where we come from. Also, if we're going through difficult times, trying to overcome challenges, remembering and pulling on the strength of our ancestors here will help us to overcome anything that we're trying to overcome. So there is a strong feeling here of like spirit showing how protected and loved you are by your ancestors. Okay. And also that there's a part of you here that needs to connect back to your roots. And it could be back to self. That there's an inner child self that might be suppressed here. Okay. So I am picking up for some of you guys, if you are involved in numbing sort of ways, distracting ways in your life through addictions or distractions or unhealthy things, we could be coping rather than connecting to the inner little self here that wants to be expressed, because there might be something going on the inside here that needs to be looked at or embraced or accepted, welcomed, but you are loved and protected. Okay, and we also have the snowflake. So snowflake is all about rare and unique. You know, we're all very unique and rare because we all have a certain energetic signature that's tied to us and us only. But that we also originated from our ancestors and previous ancestors to that. And so we are very unique. We are very special. We are put here for a very good reason. But understanding where we've come from gives us the strength to stand solid, to recognize our uniqueness, to understand certain parts of us that we might not yet have tapped into that are very different or special, or that we can offer to the world once we connect back to our roots or self, or have a full understanding of what's special about us. Okay, so certain gifts could be handed down from the bloodline that we might not have been tapped into or recognized that's within us. Okay, but I do feel as though there is something coming through here about your unique gift to the world, identifying how special you are, but we need to feel a safe place to do this. So what's coming through right now is, let's say we have this beautiful, unique snowflake, but it is like, you know, plus weather and very warm out. This snowflake's not going to last very long. It's going to melt and the uniqueness won't be supported and appreciated. But if the snowflake falls in a temperature that's in an environment that is cold enough to maintain its shape, then it could maintain its uniqueness and be respected and appreciated, you know, in the form that it comes. So it's the environment needs to protect that uniqueness. And so whether we recognize whether we're in this place of understanding our ability fully yet or not, I think the environment is coming through here, one that's supportive, and maybe we're not supporting our own uniqueness. We're not creating the environment for self, for the little self, you know, or our inner child self here, to allow the true gift to be unleashed, to allow the uniqueness to come out, because the outer self is maybe denying, suppressing, or not creating a protective environment. Okay, so if any of this is sort of resonating for you, we're going to look at the oracle cards here, okay? We have Tiger, and you're being called upon to provide leadership. So trust that you're capable of doing so. I think it is something from within here. Okay, you're being called to create an environment here for self. And we have Chaos. And we have Panther. Fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And we have 18, or the number 9, enhanced protection for beautiful boundaries. Look at this protection we were talking about. And we have unique well-being. We were just talking about unique. And the well-being here is the protective environment. All of this is tying in very beautifully here with your reading. We have the angel wings, which is looking a lot like peace. Unique well-being. And we have you are a fighter ever onwards. You are a fighter ever onwards. Beautiful. We have green vine snake. And it says this South American snake is arboreal. It lives in trees. That's what it means. With its long, very slender body and its beautiful green color, it's an expert at being discreet. Watching from above, it keeps an eye on its prey on the ground or near the flowers. When it spots a mouse, a lizard, or a bird it fancies, it bites its head to inject its venom, hoists it into a tree, then swallows it quickly. Okay. We have the gateway. Look at that. Aquarius energy coming through with the stars we see here. Let's put that there. We have worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Okay. We have electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life, 24, or the number 6. 6 is about problem solving. It's also about compassion and harmony, and we were getting with the angel wings, peace, harmony. Bring your ideas to life. Okay, we have Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. Okay. Lots of blues here and purples, so we have lots of throat chakra and third eye chakra. Success and transformation, 13. 13 is the death card in the tarot, which could be Scorpio energy here. Success in transformation. Okay, and then we have find your sacred flow. Number 12 or number 3. Surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out. Then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Okay. And we have surrender to complete healing. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and your spiritual healing. And we have emerging. Wow, emerging. Look how powerful this card is. I love emerging. Okay, your message is so clear to me, pile number 2. So we're battling something, and I think it's certainly a challenge here for you, and for a lot of you guys, it's a way of being here that you do, that you're engaged with here, a habit, something that's unhealthy, that's something that I feel has gotten the better of you. But I feel like what Spirit wants to remind you of here is the strength that comes from within you. So there is a reminder here to listen to yourself, that your voice and your desire, your being is as great as anyone else's. And so there's a part of you here that we're not maybe listening to because we're suppressing it with engaging in things here to numb ourselves, distract ourselves, avoid this part of ourselves. And so I think you're aware of what this is, and I think you might be trying to change this. And so the message here, very loud, is that you're well on your way to being very successful with this, to making these changes, to keep at it. And no matter how many times we sort of slip, that you are protected here. And do not fight yourself, because you do not need any enemies. What you need is support from yourself. So if there is a slip, if there is a negative self-talk that comes up, do not let it tailspin into something that will take you back to the initial triggers here, okay? Because I feel as though you're on your way right now on a path that's creating something that's absolutely beautiful. And so I feel like you might have attempted to give up the certain things here that might have been very unhealthy for you. And I think it might work for a little bit, and then we sort of beat ourselves up when we have a little bit of a slip up here. So you are healing, the confirmation. I think you're in your mind about whether you'll ever overcome whatever this is, and Spirit's showing yes, you absolutely will. And in order for you to maintain on this path and to get results quicker and to feel better, when we start to hear the self-negative talk, when we start to slip, when we maybe fall back into an old way, to not beat yourself up, to identify it, and then to make the change, to catch it, qualify that thought, qualify that action, and then lean into the thing that we know we're supposed to be doing or wanting to be doing, because we know it's aligned with our greater self, our greater purpose. It's on the path towards the thing we want. So this can speak to, let's say we want to be, I don't know, like a crazy gymnast here, but we just keep putting off practice. You know, and then we start to practice for a bit and we start to make some progress, and then we slip and we go a week without practice, and then we identify this and we could beat ourselves up, and we could spend, you know, a whole other month not doing the practice, or we could stop, identify, and then start going back to practice and pick up where we left off. And Spirit is saying it's absolutely fine to keep at it however chunks we do, because I feel like you're overcoming something here, okay? Or you're trying to attain a something down the road here that's more aligned to your greater calling and purpose. And so you're protected, but the environment in which you need for this to unfold has to be created by yourself, and that you come from a very strong bloodline of family here that's the fighter here, okay? This is like your origin. You have it within you to overcome this. You have it within you to be the greatest gymnast here, or to overcome this addiction, or to, I don't know, lose the weight, or whatever the thing here I feel that you're trying to do for the betterment of the version of yourself that you see in your mind that you attain to be. It's been a big struggle. So listen to yourself, okay? Because sometimes we start to sabotage yourself. And how far do we take that sabotage? You know, we can completely feed it and go completely backwards. But when we hear that part of ourself, we can then make the change to get back on the path and keep sort of requalifying as this happens. Okay? And not get stuck in the beating of self. Like, listen to your dialogue. Okay? Do not fuel that negative self-speak, or that part of yourself that might feel like you let yourself down. And so healing is a process, and I feel like the beautiful version of self is emerging. So we do have to put healthy boundaries, you know, and try sticking to them. So if it's, again, I'll use the gym analogy. If it's, I'm going to be the gymnastic expert here, so I have to go to the gym, whatever the goal is here, realistic, right? So like, I'm going to go at least once a day. It doesn't really necessarily matter the time so much. and we try to stick to that goal. And if we miss a day or two, we don't completely abandon ship. We say, okay, I'm going to get back on. And so now, instead of missing a month or not doing it, we've gone to the gym maybe 10 times that month, which is better than no times, because that's progress. Okay, so I feel like maybe we might be biting off more than we can chew. So in the analogy of the gym again, maybe we're saying we need to spend 2 hours at like 3 in the morning, where Spirit is saying maybe be a little more flexible and say time doesn't necessarily matter, and maybe I'll start with half an hour, you know. That's just an analogy. That's might not be the thing that you're doing here, but I feel like you're seeing your vision. I see as though there's a certain thing you're trying to attain here, right? So it's like, I don't want to engage in this, so I'm cutting cold turkey. And it's like, okay, cold turkey might work for some people, but if we've tried it and we kind of keep falling back, we might need to say, instead of, I don't know, smoking a pack a day, I'm gonna do like allow 8 today, or 4, or whatever the number is. But I feel like there needs to be a listening to self that compromises in a way that's still making progress, that isn't harsh on self, that isn't putting some sort of ridiculous demand on self here, okay? Because I feel like you're absolutely going to win at this, and I feel like this is heading you towards what your ideal self could be, but it's a process and a journey to get there. So we need to listen to our inner self to find the flow that works for us. So the universe absolutely protects you, and is showing here the strength that comes from your bloodline of protection, and there is this innate ability from within you to pull this off. And so I think there's a full potential here with this snowflake of unique self, of something here that hasn't yet been birthed from within you, because I feel like it's your environment isn't a safe place to foster what this is. So I feel like you have to slowly work at this, and once you get to some pivotal point here, I think you'll start to see more and more of this unique self come out, and it becomes easier and easier for you to maintain that progress that you're seeing. You know, at first, obviously the first step is always the most challenging, and like I said, maybe we have some ridiculous expectations of self, and I feel like there is something emerging here of some a very special, unique thing here that might come from our bloodline, that hasn't yet been revealed to us, that hasn't yet been exposed to us, that hasn't yet made its way, because we're still having to overcome this challenge, this part of our life that we're in battle here. I feel like you're in battle here, but the battle is with self, overcoming this thing. And the more we start to conquer over this, which I feel you will, then we start to see that part of ourself gain more confidence and stay more on this sort of road to healing. I'm going to pull the tarot. What is this? Healer. Interesting. This is from the other pile, and it just kind of appeared here. Healing. I think there is a lot of healing here, okay? And I feel like there's part of you that's been hurt inside of you, that's being suppressed in some way here, numbed out. I think you're your worst enemy here. You know, you might not be eating healthy, or treating your body healthy, or your mind healthy, and you're continuously sort of feeding the parts that don't allow you to be supported in a way here that supports your highest version of self. And then we start to think that we only deserve to suffer, to engage in things here that make us feel heavy and bad. Like, it's a heavy feeling I feel here. And I think you feel bad about self, like argue with self, or you let yourself down, you know, and that's the worst feeling of it. It's like that part. But Spirit really wants you to just not get hard on self. Like, yes, you're trying to create the boundary, but the boundary isn't one where we beat self up. The boundary isn't one that we keep modifying until we find what right works for us, you know. And I think right now we're battling ourselves so much, and that after conversation and that takes away the energy that's supposed to go towards the change here that we want to see. Okay, so do not like beat yourself up here. So what do we have, Spirit, for pile 2? What do they need to know here? What do they need to be reminded of? We have Ace of Wands, and we have the King of Cups. What does pile 2 need to be reminded of right here, right now, Spirit? Four of Wands. Three of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Star. Under the Star, we have the Six of Swords. Healing, the Star, Aquarius energy. King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. So, difficult times. Five of Swords that we're engaged with, and we want to move into a Six of Swords, which is pulling out of difficulties here, okay? Slowly but surely, because the Six of Swords is very slow. We see the Sun, which is all about clarity. It's all about certainty and joy. Okay, so we want to move towards the happiness, the joy and the certainty. We don't want to stay in Five of Swords, which is self-sabotage and feeling very challenged. And so we're amidst this transformation. We have the butterfly here, and we have success in transformation. Okay, and that butterfly is hovering around this Ace of Swords. So, Ace of Swords pointing down, meaning there's some part of self here, I feel, that's being suppressed, that isn't being listened to. It's not allowed to express itself. And I feel like it's an inner child voice or a part of self that needs to be heard and not argued with, or not resisted or shut down. So we listen to every part of ourself, no matter how foolish, and we say, thank you, self, for bringing these thoughts, and thank you for allowing me to see what you wanted me to see. And then we make decisions based on, is what I'm doing right now aligned with where I want to head to? Is this aligned with the greater truth of myself? Because I think we're spending a lot of time silencing the voice, resisting the voice, suppressing the voice here, okay? So I feel like in order to get out of this conflict, we have to listen to all parts of ourselves. This allows for the healing. This allows us to move towards the thing we want, the desire we want here, okay? So I feel like there's something that's driving you, inspiring you with this Ace of Wands, a new beginning, getting fired up. And I feel Spirit's message here is showing this Three of Wands. You are making progress. You are on this journey. You are going to calmer waters. There is going to be movement towards this with the Six Swords and the Three Wands. Expansion. Okay, we have to show ourselves compassion. We have to really understand ourselves. Here's the Ace of Cups, which is all about self-love, self-acceptance, self-worth. We embrace who we are, no matter how challenging. We make no judgment. We put forward the dedication as much as we can, day in, day out. And if we feel it's not to the level of expectation that we, in our mind, think we need to have, we accept and embrace the level of dedication we were able to contribute that day. And that every day, the bit we can do is what makes the difference. So if one day we cannot, but the next day we can, that's absolutely okay. Eight of Pentacles, the energy, the effort, the time spent in making something happen here, okay? Putting in the dedication. The most dedicated card in the tarot is this Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like there's a need to stay dedicated to self. There's a need for you to show your dedication. You know, like your ancestors and where you come from is an energy here that supports who you are as a person and what you're building yourself to be here. So don't let yourself get in your own way or get you down. Don't tell yourself that you're worth less than what you are because of a thought that comes in. So I feel the Spirit is showing here this with the two fours. Four is all about structure and foundations and planning. This Three of Wands is also about successful planning. So I feel like the past here with the poppies has led you to be able to plan here for success, be able to plan here for you to make it happen. You know, the light attribute of the Four of Pentacles is a very solid card. It's a card of consistent sort of energy of being able to rely on self and provide that stability you're needing here in order to get grounded to have the success. Okay, with the two fours here, I feel like it's a balanced, grounded energy. It's the stability you need. It's the environment you need. And we're talking about the environment to support this beautiful snowflake from not melting and showing up here. So I feel like eventually, with your consistency, you'll build that foundation. You'll be successful in building that foundation, that this uniqueness, whatever this thing is that's within you that wants to come out, will have the safe environment to come out. But I think the snowflake within you, this rare special thing within you, I think doesn't feel like it's a safe place to come out here, because there is a lot of conflict. There's a lot of noise surrounding your inner peace and space. So it needs the right environment here, okay? Which is you being supportive, you being loving, you showing yourself the self-worth, you being dedicated and committed to yourself. And I feel you can do this. So I am going to pull 3 cards just kind of as a final, like a strength in reverse. So maybe you're lacking the confidence. Maybe you think you cannot make it happen. You know, with strength in reverse, Leo energy. And I feel like it's because if we have a slip, we then tell ourselves negative self-speak. I'm not good enough or confident enough or have it in me enough. You know, you are a fighter ever onwards. So maybe we let our fears kind of get in the way, or we feel very held back. Four of Pentacles and strength in reverse is being held back, you know. And we could be held back because of our own thoughts, telling us that we can't get something off the ground or complete something. 3 swords in reverse. So we need to heal. We have to feel the pain. We can't suppress. We can't numb it out through distractions and unhealthy things. The World in reverse. We got to close a chapter in our life here. A chapter of pain. 8 cups in reverse. This one here. 6 swords again. Okay. And under the deck, Knight of Cups. So, pile number 2. I think there's pain here that we need to feel out. And instead of allowing ourselves to fully feel the pain of whatever's happened through our childhood or while we were brought up, or trauma we've experienced, loss we've experienced, suffering we've experienced, there's pain going on here. And I think we haven't dealt with it proper. So we suppress by filling the void with whatever we're doing here. Okay, I don't know what your thing is here, but for all of you guys it's different. It's not allowing ourselves to fully let the environment support the healing so that the beautiful self could come through here, the true self, the self that comes through our bloodline. Okay, so I feel like there's a part of your past here that's happened to you that we need to close the door to, and the only way we could really close the door to is embrace the fact that there might be some pain that we're still hanging on to or that we haven't fleshed out. Okay, and so this keeps us tied to the past. This keeps us unhappy. This keeps us energetically And then 8 cups, which is not emotionally fulfilled and still kind of involved in a situation that's draining and heavy. And Spirit is showing here to remind you that, hey, like, you can have a new beginning of self-love here with the 1 cup, but you're choosing to be in the 8 cups. You're choosing the actions. You're choosing your environment. You're choosing not to close this door. You're choosing not to deal with the pain by speaking about it, by being open about it, by listening to the inner voice about it. We might be doing anything but that, distracting ourselves from that. And we keep it alive by doing this. Because once we go there, the pain might feel very sharp, you know, like if it's very suppressed, we might have just continued to avoid it. So I feel like Spirit is really showing that you need to show yourself compassion here. You need to allow yourself to feel. Okay, look at the heart here again. Yeah, you need to allow yourself to feel whatever is going on in this heart space. Express yourself. Don't suppress, don't numb. Okay, don't avoid. And then we can get it off the ground. Then we can be dedicated to something here, you know. Then we start to see movement and change. So, this is what I see, you guys. Again, these readings, very interesting. I don't know who this is all going to resonate for, but I'm sure it is for someone here that was needing to hear this. I love you so, so much. I believe in you. There's a lot here of beautiful hope and beautiful healing and so much healing here. And I feel like once you do this, not only is it healing for you, but it's healing for others, because you are an example here. You can lead others. You've experienced the healing. You've gone through it. And I feel like you're going through this journey, you know. And it's really painful when we're going through it, because transformations aren't easy. And things that we've suppressed or that we've avoided are painful to first look at, but it will be very liberating, and it will put you in flow once you embrace that you can move forward from this pain. You don't have to be in the pain. You don't have to remain emotionally dissatisfied and suffering here. You don't have to. You are in control of closing this out. You can do this by putting in a little bit of effort and energy every day towards the path that is going to liberate you, towards the transformation. So I always ask yourself, where's this energy going right now? Is it towards the thing of the past or towards the pain that I'm keeping alive by suppressing or denying or distracting? Or is this energy and effort today going towards the better? Is it going towards me bringing my new self to life, the healed version of me that I want to see in myself, you know, a year from now or 6 months from now or 2 months from now or whatever the aim is? Because if the energy and the effort is towards what we constantly do, that's the suffering, then we're going to get more of the suffering. There we saw the Queen of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Certainty, honesty, taking the sword of truth, acting in that greater wisdom, walking and talking in a truth, despite whatever happens here, because the Queen of Swords acts in truth. She's not too concerned about anything other than getting to the bottom of what needs to be done here, okay? She doesn't avoid or suppress or deny. She's honest, open, and very clear. Okay, and sometimes people can't handle truths like this, and our inner child might be dying to express some sort of truth here. So, this is what I have, pile number 2. I hope this helped you. I love you so, so much. I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, hello, my beautiful pile 3. Super excited to do your reading. Before we get into the energy check here to see if this is resonating for you, what are we looking at? We're looking at, what does Spirit want to remind you of? Is this something you've forgotten? Is this something just you're needing to hear right here, right now, that's going to help you? But it's something Spirit, it was insisting that you need to be reminded of right here, right now, okay? So please use your intuition, what you will see, feel, or hear to determine whether this messaging is for you. Best way to do that will be to sit throughout the card layout so we can tune into our intuition. If you feel you are tapped in, you can go straight away to the reading if you resonate with this energy check. Okay, so your pile, lots of cards wanting to come out, like a lot. So I'm quite interested to see what this is all about. Hopefully you could fit all these cards. But you picked card 3 with the spider, and it says the spider will reveal your fate to you, and then the key. So generally I read spider as creativity, and spiders are certainly very much about building the web, creating the web. The creative energy that comes from a spider is always very intense. However, with this deck, the spider will reveal your fate to you. This is you not getting tangled up in the web that the universe is creating. That there is fated things going on in your life right now that you might feel you have no control over. And so we might resist, we might try to control, we might try to understand, we might try to interject. And the more we do this, the more confusing and intertwined we get and sticky it gets for us. So it's almost like learning to go with the flow of the fate, of nature, of the divine, whatever's unfolding, and allowing ourselves to be still where we need to be still and letting things happen, you know, rather than resisting, fighting, or trying to control. So I don't know which one's going to come out in these cards here, okay? But I was reading the traditional meaning with the spider, and then the card meaning here was coming through as well with the fate, reveal your fate to you. And now intuitively what I'm picking up is that there's a difficult time right now that I feel like is around you. So you feel we need to do something, and maybe you're not sure what to do. That's more what I'm picking up. It's like you want to do something, and if the universe wants to take the wheel, I think you're absolutely okay with that. But you're not sure. Like, am I supposed to be doing something? Am I supposed to be still? Am I supposed to allow the universe to do what it's doing? And what if it's propelling me into the storm again? What if I don't feel like things are getting better? That's kind of what I'm picking up from your energy here, okay? And then we have the key, which is all about information and knowledge that allows us to be equipped to enter the next phase of our life, to open doors to new opportunities. If we don't have the information, the knowledge, we stay sort of stuck. And once we understand something, we're now able to unlock a part of the future that might have been locked, a part of ourself that might have been locked. So back to the fate. I feel there's something karmically that you're learning, a lesson that needs to be understood, an experience that we need to attain so that we can graduate to the next phase and open up and unlock a certain part of our future that remains locked and sealed until the universe feels we've understood it, we've learned from it, we've grown from it, we can move on from it. But where are we at? So maybe you need a reality check. Like, where am I at? I've been in this storm way too long, or I've been at it and nothing's been created, or I've been still and nothing's been created. I've been trusting the universe and nothing's been shown to me, and I'm still in the storm. That's kind of what I'm feeling from this whole thing, okay? So if any of that resonates for you, then this is most likely your pile with your message. Again, use your own intuition. And let's see what these bazillion cards you guys were getting here from the shuffling. I have not looked at these. I just shuffled whatever spirit was wanting to come out. So let's reveal them. There's no need to be so hard on yourself. You're managing as best as you can. Oh, beautiful. This messaging would have been perfect for pile 2 as well. Maybe you've come here from pile 2. Sometimes we're our worst enemy. Penguin, the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. Well, what do you know? We were talking about the clouds with the being in storm, and maybe we weren't sure, is it over? Are we still amidst all this? Needing some confirmation because everything has been seemingly the same. So we don't know, is it getting better? Is there more I'm supposed to do? And now we have the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. So that's great. The penguin with the black and white, this is our shadow self and our light self. And so we've been dealing with dark aspects maybe of ourselves and situations that might have not have been bringing out the best in us, trying to find the balance, trying to find how to integrate parts of self in order to successfully move throughout this period, this phase in our life. practice. Yes, I do feel like we've been either in a karmic cycle or experiencing something that seems like it just wasn't coming to an end here. Fish. Fish is abundance, and fish could be aimlessly having a need for direction here, being thrown about. So I do feel like the universe has had its kind of way with you, and maybe you're needing a sense of direction now. It's been too long here of floundering. So maybe this is what we're being reminded of, that direction is coming. We're now going to be sort of on a path rather than sort of in an experience that's been living its way through us. Water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I'm feeling strong Pisces energy. Tiger. Tiger came out for pile 2 as well. There might be a link. And look, we have 2 tigers. This is giving me divine feminine energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. I am being called to read this tiger before I pull any cards. Let's read tiger. See what comes out. Tiger. It says lunar force. Lunar, so yes, feminine energy. Ease in darkness, feminine energy. Okay. The tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of our own power. When in balance, passionate, strong, and sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. So, lots of repeat here. The stillness was coming through when I initially read this, being still. And maybe there is discomfort in being still. And there's something emerging from within you. And so we feel out of control and we feel in the dark. And I think you're dealing with a lot of subconscious stuff here with the dark and the light. Because I talked about finding the balance and trying to integrate your shadow self. And the feminine energy is being receptive. And certainly could be having to deal with emotions in a certain way. But we're sitting with something here that's going on in our world. Okay, let's keep going. We have number 4, ends for beginnings. So something needs to close in order for something to open. Okay, I don't know, I said close and open because opening the door. So that's the end for something to begin. Something has to close for something to open. Interesting. Okay, we have stellar sea eagle. It says one of the largest raptors of the world. In the world. The stellar sea eagle has a huge, shapely, hooked yellow beak living on the east coast of Russia. It feeds mainly on fish, but also hunts hares, Arctic foxes, or young seals that it finds thanks to its sharp sight. It then lands on its prey and seizes in between its powerful talons. Oh my goodness, it catches those big animals? Arctic fox, a seal, and a hare. Those are huge animals. So this stellar seagull must be pretty big. It says they are 8 to 17 pounds. 8 kilograms, which is 17 pounds. That's not that big. 90 centimeters, 35 inches long. They live 21 years. Gestation or hatching 43 days. Stellar's sea eagle. Okay. Well, eagles are all about divinity and vision. I think we're needing to see something here. Reindeer. Known as the reindeer in Europe and caribou in Canada, this robust ruminant inhabits the forests and tundra of the Arctic Circle. It has antlers that fall out every year. It is equipped with hollow bristles that isolate it from the cold and large hooves to walk through the snow and mud with ease. A good swimmer, it is unafraid to cross over rivers and stretches of water to find food. So water's emotions. And I was getting a lot of emotions from this and having to dive in the depths of something here that's been very much like a storm. And now with this reindeer with the antlers. I don't know if all reindeer have antlers. Or only masculine, because I know with the deer, the buck has antlers, not the doe. So I'm getting masculine energy either which way. So I have masculine, feminine, and I'm getting the black and the white. So I'm getting the balance, I'm getting the duality. Endings, beginnings. Yeah, I'm getting balance, duality, choices too here. The fate, and then what can we do? You know, what can we take charge of, and what does the universe control here? Okay, so we have creativity. That was the spider energy that was coming through, and now we see 4 fish. Creativity. Okay, well, spider energy is certainly creative energy. And we have regret. I know I cannot change the past. And we have horse spirit. Freedom is yours with 33. 33 is a master number. It's about reproduction, which is feminine energy. Creativity. It's about humor. It's also about Christ consciousness, joy, and harmony. Creativity is coming through very strong here. And the reproduction. Fox spirit. Think on your feet. 27. Arctic foxes came through here as well. Foxes could be thinking differently here. Think on your feet. 27. Or the number 9. Okay, we have Paul the Venetian. Experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration, creativity, and love are coming to you. Beautiful. We have changes. This is number 10. 10's about transformation. Ends of cycles. Changes. This is reminding me of a dream keeper. I think that's what it's called. I was going to call it a dream weaver. Dream catcher. Sorry. Dream catcher. This is what it's reminding me of. And so when we have dream catchers, it's supposed to help us if we have night terrors or nightmares. Something of dreams is coming through here. You guys might be having quite significant dreams here. Surrender stubbornness. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. That comes back to the being still and not having to force what the universe is sort of rolling out here for you. Surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Take a relaxing break. Spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. And we have surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that spirit is always guiding you. Yes, that's what this messaging is about. And we have allow. Okay, so this message, clear as well. You're going through a spiritual change here, I feel. You're finding balance within self, but it doesn't feel like you have any control right now and things feel very upside down. I feel as though things are feeling like they're happening to you. And the universe has very good control right now of your life. And so we don't really fully ever know beyond a shadow of a doubt when we're first entering a journey where the spirituality and the divine is involved, because the mind tries to comprehend. And the mind needs to see and have facts in order to agree and understand, but the soul, the spirits, and feelings are on a whole other dimension of level here. So I feel like there's a disconnect here, because we might be allowing our mind to try to engage here in something that's happening organically, naturally for you, which is you ascending, you getting more spiritual, you shedding things that need to shed within your life. And it might feel as though you have little to no control. Things might feel upside down. And so what's really happening here and what you need to be reminded of is Spirit saying what's going on right now is the universe is in full control of knowing exactly what's happening, that you don't have anything to fear, and that you don't need to get in the way of the universe, resist or fight. okay? And that if you're feeling as though there's any heaviness about what you've experienced here, to let it go, to trust that the universe is handling what it needs to handle, to allow the natural flow of what needs to happen, and to be reactionary when you're needing to react. That the universe now is asking for you to be present and aware and alert, because when you do need to do something, you're going to be called to act here. And it's not going to be something that you need to plan or coerce or have some sort of elaborate thing. You're just going to have to react in the moment, okay? And this is training a certain part of yourself, I feel here, in order for you to be more balanced, more free, more aligned with yourself. Because I feel like your masculine feminine energy here is aligning. I feel like certain parts of your shadow self that's been holding you back or had blocks or just part of your past, it might still be there, and we're learning to shed, and we're learning to integrate, and we're learning to do whatever we can here to work with that in order to release parts that we need to release. And sometimes we hang on and we don't know why we hang on, and then we might beat ourselves up, or we might talk judgment to self. So there's a need to allow ourselves to be still. Don't fight, don't resist, don't fall back in old ways. Allow the universe to do what it does. Be receptive to the universe by being present. Allow ourselves to be swayed, however, because if we've tried to make something happen, if we've tried to, I don't know, like involve ourselves and it doesn't seem to be working, it's because the universe is not allowing this to be. The universe is guiding us to where we're actually supposed to be going. So what's this all for? You're amidst creating something. Not only is it just a balanced self here, I feel like you're going to be creating something of purpose that's greater than this experience, okay? And I feel like maybe you didn't know what this is for, or maybe you're not understanding what the worrying and the suffering is. And why is the universe insisting on collapsing maybe your stability, or collapsing what you've built, or not allowing you to grab onto anything? You know, it feels to me like nothing's really solid, nothing's created. It feels very much like, like maybe you want certainty, you want clarity, you want direction, you want to know what it's all for, you want to trust, you want to understand. And Spirit's saying, whoa, the mind does not need to understand. The ego wants to understand. The soul just needs to be here and present and trust in the universe to act when you are able to act. That the time will come when things will make sense. That the time will come when the experience and the journeys come through where you say, I now understand what it was for. I could have been easier on myself. I could have trusted the universe more. I could have leaned in on parts of myself that I didn't really understand at that time. You know, the part of me that could be still, the part of me that could be trusting, the part of me that could let go and surrender, the part of me that would accept change without maybe worrying or anticipating or trying to be fixed on an idea. So we forgive ourselves, okay, experiencing grace and others around us. We always say, what would God do? What would love do? What would love choose in this moment for myself and for others? Would it show compassion? Would it show grace? Okay, if we start to, I don't know, like go down the path of making ourselves feel bad or self-talk that doesn't allow love to come in and support the journey, the flow is a lot harder and we resist it. Okay, so what can you do? Well, I think Spirit is showing the things that you can do, you should do. Walk in nature. You know, like spend time outside. If you love animals, spend time with more animals. Go for swims, go for hikes, go for walks, go for picnics, go for rides, go scenic touring, go do what you can do here while this sort of thing is happening. Because I feel like Spirit is really showing that there's certain things that might be happening and happening and happening. And it could be repeat things, and you're like, well, is this going to keep playing on autopilot repeat here? And it's like, until you learn, until it's fully fleshed out. So sometimes what I'm hearing here from Spirit is we could experience same things and only learn little bits of that lesson, you know? And so we experience it again, and we start being hard on ourselves and saying, why do I experience this again, the same thing again, or the same, like, did I not learn? And we start to self-speak, and it's like, we did learn. We learned a certain part of that experience, but maybe not the full thing we were supposed to. And so every time we experience that same thing, we learn a different aspect. So it really might feel like the same thing, but it's a different experience. And so if we go in thinking, well, this is a different experience of maybe a similar thing, but there's something else I need to learn. There's something else I need to be present and aware of. There's something else I could gain knowledge from this. So although here we go again in the storm, here we go again with the same repeat, here we go again with what I just felt I went through. Why are you showing me this, universe? Why am I experiencing this pain again? Why is it that I'm in this situation, or still stuck in this, or still can't find a way out, or still feel like I'm butting my head up against the wall? And so we're so focused on that head butting against the wall, thinking it's the same. Meanwhile, the universe is saying, hey, like, we don't need to be here as long as we are, but we will be here this long if we're resisting and butting our head up against the wall. But what we can say is, here I go again. But what is it now that I'm going to learn that's different? What is it now that I didn't see last time? What is it now that the universe wants me to take away from this experience that's different than last time? And if it's the same, how does it make me feel now? Did I feel the exact same way going through it? Did I feel a little different? Did I recognize where I was maybe suppressing a part of me that I never noticed before? Or was there a part of me that wanted to come out that was different? Was there a change in how I reacted a little bit? Did the results show the same? Did they make a little bit of a change? All of this stuff, because we never experienced the exact same thing. You know, it's always different. And if we open our mind to see it as an experience we're needing to learn, then we graduate to open the door to the next phase, and we don't feel like we're still in storm. Okay, so I feel like there's lessons going on here, is essentially what I feel. Lots of changes, lots of lessons, very painful, because the reindeer here, it was talking about antlers falling off once a year. This is a painful, painful process, because the antlers fall, and then the new budding of the antlers is very painful. So you guys could be going through a spiritual rebirth here, you know, an ego death. And it hurts regardless, but if we don't allow and if we resist, it hurts even more. If we're pressing on those antlers, if we're trying to pull them out, it doesn't make it go faster, it causes pain. So we need to allow the universe to let its rebirth happen here. Endings for beginnings, okay? Let it do its thing. You're not going to be stuck in this forever, and you don't need to understand it now. The only thing that maybe you feel you need to understand is for the ego and the mind to be at ease and for it to shut up. But you can do that now. You don't need to listen to the mind chatter. You are free now. Okay, you might not feel free. Things might feel chaotic and upside down and not stable. You might feel like you're in the midst of the flow here of the mercy of the universe, but that's what the universe is doing for a reason. But once you're able to act in a way here, you'll know, because Spirit's going to make it very clear. Now's your time to act. Now's your time to be present, make a move. That's not planned. That's not in a way that, you had to force or coerce. It's something that's natural. It's something that's present. It's something that's just being in the moment. And that's going to get the results that you're needing here. It's like quick moving action that captures what you're needing to capture when you need to capture it with precision. But the eagle needs to be very aware and present as it's flying here, and then when it sees something to get its prey, it doesn't plan for a week about that fish that it catches in that moment. It's just like flying about, and it sees, if it knows it sees prey, it's going to take action. So I feel there's something about being very present. Allow yourself to be still and open so that you are receptive. So you're always watching, okay? Because even though you can't necessarily do anything, I feel, in this present moment, you could still be very aware and present, so that when it's time to act, you're responsive. You don't have to be so involved in the head butting up against the wall here that we miss what's going on. We say, okay, I'm very receptive to this cycle again. I'm very receptive to my feelings. I'm very receptive to what Spirit's showing me. I'm very receptive to this, although maybe painful, although maybe confusing, although maybe I don't understand it mentally. I'm still open. I'm still seeing. I'm still allowing. I'm still accepting. I'm still trying to do my best to be in the flow here. I'm still trying my best to release what Spirit wants me to. I'm not judging myself. I'm not, you know, I don't know, like talking myself into other things here that maybe mentally feel right, but on a spiritual level, like universe knows what's what here, okay? We don't know, and it's okay. So let's pull the tarot, okay? Because I don't know if I did this justice, but that's what's coming out. So we're gonna pull the tarot to see, what did I miss for pile 3, spirits? Anything further for pile 3? What do they need to be reminded of right here, right now for pile 3? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Ace of Swords, and we don't see what's going on here. Death, transformation, massive transformation, spiritual transformation, release of the old. 6 of Cups in reverse, stuck in the past. There's certain things you're shedding in the past here, you guys, okay? And it's painful. Queen of Wands in reverse, 6 of Wands in reverse, and the 8 of Cups in reverse. And bottom of the deck here, we have 10 Swords in reverse, which I don't read bottom of the deck reverse, so I'm flipping it. 10 Swords, Temperance, okay. Sagittarius energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So we have strong Sag, and then Scorpio energy. Death, 10 Swords. You guys are going through a massive transformation, okay? And I feel like there is your past specifically that is slowly falling away here, okay? In order to make way for new, and it's painful, and it could be ego death, parts of self, what we identify with, people, places, things of the past. Our mindset might be very stuck on past, how we live, what we've created, who we said we were, what was working, and now everything's upside down. And but yet we refuse to allow the universe to move us out, or we just maybe don't know that we're resisting, or we don't know because we're not present and aware where our thoughts are keeping us hostage, okay? Because this is both stuck in past energy, like surrendering to, no, we're needing to surrender to the universe, but we're sort of unable to make or accept the change that's happening. So we're resistant, we're in past energies, and we're refusing to move towards the new here. We're hesitant to open the door. We're hesitant to accept the lesson. You know, we might not want to see the lesson because that would mean the truth. That would mean having to accept something. You know, Ace of Swords in reverse, in denial, not wanting to see, lying to self, you know, not seeing clearly. And we don't see clearly because sometimes the universe is shouting at us, and it takes many attempts for us to finally, I see. And that's okay. And that's okay, because we might start to be mad at ourselves. Why didn't I see? Am I supposed to be accepting? And so we start to fight ourselves. And so the universe might be showing us consistently something we don't want to accept or see. But we're too busy trying to find the clarity and the truth, but the clarity and the truth to what we want to support. So the idea, the construct that we think is right, we start to form stories or narratives around that. And the more we form stories and narratives, we don't see it still. And so we get stuck in butting our head against the wall. And the universe is saying, don't make stories. Don't support any of the past situations here. Be completely open and observe. Because once you're open and observe, you will see clearly. But whether you want to accept it, whether you want to release what needs to be released, that's what the challenge is here. So I feel like there's an ending here that you're needing to deal with that's going to allow you to transform. Spiritual transformation, parts of yourself you're shedding, okay? And you don't see it quite yet. And I feel like with the poppies of the past, this must be the readings of the past. I feel like the past is coming up in here, okay? But I feel like this keeps you emotionally stale and stagnant in life. And so I feel like Spirit is saying right now, we feel like we can't manifest. We feel like we're not being appreciated here by your environment and the world here, okay? But Queen of Wands in reverse, Six of Wands in reverse, and the Death. This is ego death and 10 swords. Ego death, and same with being stuck in the past. So yeah, same with all of this. You guys are going through like a dark night of the soul, I feel here, or like a massive ego death where parts of yourself that's needing to be released is slowly being released, however this process goes. And it's going to happen whether we like it or not, but we can resist, or we could be just observant to what's going on here, you know? So we can cling to the past, but I feel like Spirit is really showing like what's going on in your mind, you know? Like, what are we thinking about? Are we being hard on self, or are we allowing ourselves to feel what we feel? Yeah, I'm sad about releasing this part of me. You know, I'm still honest with myself about how I connect to the past. But when I start making crutches or stories like I am my past, or I am this experience, or I am what I identify with, Spirit's going to crush us, because we're not any of the past. We've experienced it, but we're not that thing in which our mind is telling us. So it's a painful process to shed that part of us, to realize we're not that doctor, lawyer, janitor, worker, mother, daughter, whatever, wife energy. We're not. We are what we are before we engaged in any of those things, and long after we become free of those things, we still remain. That's who we are. So when we know who we are, when we're not attached to those things, things starts to flow for us a lot easier. But when we cling to those things, when we identify, when we tie ourselves and our identities to that and our emotions to it, so much so, it holds us back. And it's painful here, okay? But I feel like this change is happening, and the universe wants you to be still where you need to be still. And you could certainly still engage in natural things, like try to keep yourself busy in natural ways here that make you feel good. You know, try to get your mind off of it. But at the same time, there's an energy here of being very alert and aware, and embrace truths that suppress. And then the more we do this, the more clear this will become. Then we'll have the answer. Then we can move to the next phase. Then we're ready and prepared. Then we've learned whatever karmic lessons. But I feel like we're still in it, and we might still be just repeating things here that might be very tiring for you. Healing, finding balance. Again, the dark, the light, integrating the shadow into the light, finding balance within self, masculine, feminine, more fish, the aimlessness I was feeling, needing direction. King of Wands. Look, we have the King and the Queen of Wands. King and Queen. Masculine, feminine energy again. I think it's finding it within self. I feel like you're a pretty fiery person who can manifest, who's absolutely powerful here. Powerful manifester, okay? Very fired up, and maybe you're used to getting what you want. Very confident, attractive, successful, independent. You could create. Yeah, I feel like you could create whatever you want. You have created what you want, and now you're in some funk here, okay? And you're not used to this. So I feel like you're balancing out your masculine, feminine, okay? And this is going to allow you to be in connections that are more balanced. This is going to allow you to be more balanced. This is going to allow you to manifest things. This is going to allow you to be appreciated for who you are. This is going to allow you to manifest, okay? Without chasing and fighting and whatever, okay? So trust the universe. Empress, yeah. Beautiful, divine, feminine energy. So you're birthing this new self. You're aligning yourself with abundance. You're understanding what it means to be unconditional loving to self, to create this beautiful abundance for yourself, okay? So we have to be receptive. Divine feminine energy, like we read in the energy tune-in. Divine feminine energy, because we need to receive what the universe is trying to give us. And the only way we could receive is if we're not paying attention to the butting of the head and what's not working and what's not clear, right? Like, why isn't it clear? Why is this repeating? Why am I still in dark shadow? And why did I do that? And, you know, and trying to follow narrative stories. When we are in receptive energy, we're saying, okay, I'm still, okay, I'm watching. Okay, universe, what are you telling me? I might not like what I hear, but I'm listening. And I'm going to be as open and receptive to understanding parts of the past here that might just be stories, that might be experiences, that might be something I'm detaching from, that I'm not putting all of my sort of emotional weight on something that I've experienced or telling myself that I am the person of the past here. that my own happiness relies on something or someone of the past. I'm letting parts of me end here. I'm not resisting an ending. I'm letting parts of me die off so that the new can form. Okay, pile number 3. This was your reading. It was a very interesting reading, and I do feel your pain here. Things will become clear, okay? It's okay if we're navigating blind for some time. The best thing you could do is not be hard on yourself, and know that this process is going to happen different for you than it happens for everyone. And when the key is ready to be revealed, it's going to open a beautiful door. You're going to see the light. You're going to be a balanced, beautiful human being here that, I mean, you're already beautiful, but that you feel it inside and out, you know, and life becomes easier. Life becomes more peaceful. And we're not so attached and confined and trying to create things in a way that feels forced and heavy, and yeah, just like we're fighting against things. It's now open, it's now forgiving, it's now unconditional love, it's experiencing grace, it's being in the present and just being, which is so liberating and free. And we don't have worry, and we can experience the moment very natural and very safe and very beautiful. And then we start to manifest these wonderful things because we're willing to receive what the universe wants to give. Okay, I'm not saying you can't do that now, but I feel like there's just upheaval happening here, okay? So, creativity at an all-time high. I think Spirit wants you to focus on some creative pursuit here, okay? Put your energy in that pursuit, whatever that might be. It's going to help to build your confidence. It's going to help to put your energy towards. It's going to help you just hone this energy that's kind of aimless and everywhere, okay? So you can focus on that, and other areas of your life. Be still while the waters calm itself. Be still while the universe does what it needs to. Show grace to yourself. Show love to yourself. Do not get stuck in feelings of regret and past and attaching to ideas of past, okay? Those are just mind stories that do not exist in the here and now. What exists in the here and now is you, and whether you're allowing the universe to do what it needs to do. Okay, beautiful pile 3. I hope this helped you. I love you so, so, so much, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.